we consent.
So, all right, let's dive into it. First of all, thank you for sharing this this document, this presentation that Paddy did. I mean, it's an interesting one. Show that it reflects the direction they are going. And that's why I thought it would be nice and good to have this this meeting, and Shirley will definitely take over after. But when we started the business in China, we had one vision, and this vision definitely differs completely from the one that Paddy has, and this has to be taken into consideration. And I would say that's what has helped us to not only grow the business, but make it in a way that we became leaders in China in just a very short period of time, by having innovative ideas, but also by clearly mentioning our vision. And our vision is to build a business for Chinese people in China, and not having the goal to bring them outside of China. Now, despite COVID, this has been I would say the message that people like to hear in China, because Paddy's message is exactly the contrary. They want to bring people outside of China and build the Chinese tourism, the Chinese business outside of the country. So this goes not only against the local customers that they have, but also against, let's say, the vision of the government, which was not our decision at first, but it was definitely our goal to build more business, sustainable business into the country, because it's huge. There are possibilities, there are aquariums, there are pools, there is a tropical island, whatever you want, you name it. So it's not easy to dive for sure, but there are opportunities. Then after that, if they move out of the country and go on holiday, that's all fine. Of course, we are going to support that and do whatever we can. But when you declare that you want to build the local business, then you gain the trust of the local operators. And that was always the direction we wanted to go. So I hope this gives a clear statement about how we position ourselves. Then obviously we brought Mermaid into the game, and Mermaid was not only a program that we believed in, that it would position us in a different way, but we saw that as a branding opportunity. SSI was a no brand in China when we really started. I mean, you know, we had very few centers. The quality was not good, the reputation was not good, so we had to change that. So with Mermaid, we really, in a very short period of time, positioned ourselves as a I would say multi-functional company. We were not only focused on scuba diving, but we said we have different directions that we can cover. We brought in swimming, we pushed free diving, and Mermaid, let's say the phrase behind Mermaid is the ambassador of the sea. So this gave also the opportunity to tell the people that we had an environmental protection message behind that, which was also very welcome, because people outside of China, they always think in China, I mean, I'm coming from Europe, so we always think, oh, in China, everything is polluted, everything is bad, nobody respects the environment. So I think this was the second message that really helped us positioning us and the brand into China. And it was a gamble. Nobody was really believing in that outside of our group, I would say. And we proved that it was the right direction to go. So it brought Mermaid instructors. We made presentations in universities. We have trainers. We have a full system, and we gained respect, but also we gained people going into free diving, which was, of course, the second declared goal. And when you see the numbers in free diving in China, then you know that this is a huge market. And you know, every figure that we can see in the world about free diving is just peanuts compared to what is happening in China. So, you know, when a center does 10 or 20 certification, he thinks he's a big center in Europe, for example, and then here you add 1-0 at least in China, and then you have a big center. So that's a big difference, I would say. So scuba diving is certainly still a little bit challenging because of the opportunities to go in open water. So that's for sure one of the limitations that we have, but this may change over time. You never know if you know, regulations may ease and so on. So, but at least people can do business, can start training in China, can do many courses in China, and then move out. So we adapted the system. We have a different way with the app as we have in Europe. So we adapted to the Chinese market. So we've really focused in having a Chinese business, a Chinese SSI, and directed to China, and not coming out from, let's say, Europe, US, or whatever, and then forcing it into a market that thinks and react differently. So I think this has been, thanks to Shirley, really the possibilities that have opened a lot of doors and positioned us in a very respected partner in the market. So that was, let's say, what we have been seeing. Now, the other part that we also did, we created actually this group in a way that we met at ADEX 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and we said, you know, the Chinese market is influential in many different marketplaces especially in Asia. So we talk Philippines, we talk Thailand, Malaysia, Maldives, and we wanted to make sure that the understanding was there. So we had a meeting, we explained these things, we talked a little bit about strategies, and then all stopped because of COVID, obviously, because there was no Chinese tourism anymore. Now, I think the aim of that group was really to inform what we were doing in China, basically what I said now, maybe in a more extended way, and explaining, you know, the different social media, explaining how the people are reacting and so on. So this is something we can definitely always touch base, but also we said that Shirley will grow her team. So, and Shirley is the person that we can, you know, grab if we want to bring her in a market once it is open. Let's say she went to Malaysia, she went to Thailand, she could have gone to the Maldives. You know, when it comes to supporting the local service center in dealing with the Chinese tourism, so that we really have not only first-hand information, but that we can use synergies. And this is extremely important. That's something it's a big asset that we have here. Shirley has gone to, for example, Sempurna. It was almost, I would say, a secret mission. But in the way she did it, brought new customers. And let's say in the situation we are in right now, when the market will reopen, maybe one after the other, we don't know. But we have various challenges. Let's say a market reopens, then we need to have new instructors. So the synergies and the work and the cooperation with one of your service center and Shirley will be super important. We'll need to be fast there, and the communication and the message through the Chinese social media will be a key element to that. I think that's where we have to think and be open-minded on that. So fortunately, SSI China is a direct market, so it's not it's not a distributor or service center that has to fight for his own revenue. Of course, it has to, but it has the let's say the option that we use Shirley for different markets. So meaning that we can sustain that financially, we can decide that, and it's our let's say, our own money. That's the company money. So this is a big advantage. Obviously, the Shirley's team will also expand. We actually were one guy, his name is Eison. When we hired him, it was actually meant to support the Filipino market. That was the main idea when we decided to hire him, that he would basically commute between China and the Philippines to support the local Chinese market. Obviously, this never happened, but we still took Eisen and is visiting centers and doing the job as I would say, a regional manager, and doing an excellent job. So that's basically in a nutshell where we are right now. And that's why I'm not so, convinced about the Paddy approach, what they did, the marketing message. I think we can do something better. If we want to address the Chinese market, we should maybe work on that with our team in China, and maybe prepare something that is not in English, but that is really in Chinese. So that's a long monologue, but I would say that's the where we want to go. Shirley, anything to add?
Yeah. I think China is a special market for the rest of the world. First of all, we are not using the same social media as you guys can reach, like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are not legally to open it, and we are used this other ways. That for the PDF, which share with us, is a good value for us and remind the Chinese team to do something for the rest of the world. But from my opinion, I don't think the WeChat official account is a must for the resorts in the rest of the world, because it spent lots of time on it. You need to edit it. You need to have a lot of pictures, videos, and it's much more like a branding tool for the companies in China. Every company has it. In my opinion, maybe TikTok is much more convenient for others, because in China we miss the ocean very much, and we are every day we visit centers, and centers are talking about we miss the ocean and the underwater sceneries very much. Maybe it's much more attractive divers to view it. Is that you can shoot maybe some videos of the views in front of your resorts, or the underwater videos to sharing on TikToks, and SSI China can repost it, and which maybe attracted some streams to your account. And then you can have a chance to communicate. And it's much more convenient for WeChat personal account. I think everybody here has it. And you can send a message in Chinese. And if your phone is setting in English, you can click it and translate it into English or other language. I think German is available now, because last time Jesse sent me a message in German, he forgot I can only read English, and I use that function and it's working. So you can communicate well WeChat with the rest of the world. But the problem is for the WeChat official account is not really working, helping the rest of the world, because when you collect money with it, the money is in China. It's not easy for you to transfer it to your local country. So TikTok and other application named the small red book, which mentioned in Paddy's PDF as well, that is really working and really popular in China for the young people. People are sharing the lifestyles, and some girls sharing the makeup, something. And we have a account on that as well. And every day we have people contact us and ask, is there any information about we want to learn diving in Sanya, is the Hainan Island in China. So I prefer to recommend them some application or tools which is really help them, and it not spend a lot of time for them to learn how to edit it or how to use it. And if if you post everything, the text is in English, it's a problem for Chinese to read it, and a lot of official account is folder under one catalog. So when you click it and you only have 2 seconds, we have a report, 2 seconds to attract the attention from the people who view it. So, and it will take you like at least 2 hours per day for one post. And you know, in China, we have a new brand, Zox is for swimming suits, and they don't have professional people to edit the post. And we, SSI China, we have some girl, Ellie, she is doing that, and we are supporting, and they at least need you to spend a lot of time. So maybe we can do some new thing and sharing with this message with the rest of the world. But I prefer to sharing from headquarters is better than China, because last week I was in Sanya and I visited some PADI 5-star centers, and I asked them, do you have any idea that PADI is promoting the Chinese social medias for the rest of the world? They are not happy with that, because Sanya is the resort market. They are not happy that the China team is helping the rest of the world since now to attract more attention for them. But it's okay. We always talk with our centers, like maybe they started dive in the other countries like Philippines or Thailand, but when they come back to China, we can sell the specialties to them. And we need to find some way to put our position in the mutual. So after I talk with them, I know maybe it's much more easy to promote, well, the headquarter way. That's it.
All right, thank you, Shirley. Well, I think that, you know, while speaking and thinking about this meeting and the situation we are in right now, what I would like to do is that once a month we have our service center meeting, which today in the afternoon for you. So I would say once a month, we should do, let's say, Chinese Asia Pacific meeting. So that we are fully up to date about what's going on, what are the changes, what are the opportunities, and the home task for you would be, okay, what do you see? Where do you see a problem? Where do you see an opportunity? What would you need? How, you know, for example, Shirley mentions people are really avid of having some very nice and beautiful, you know, underwater scenery and so on. So maybe we can provide these kind of things, you know, from country to country, bringing some dream into the head of the people, the followers. So bringing some content. So so everyone should start to make a list of things that would support the growth of the local Chinese market, but also having still the you know, the connection to bring these Chinese into your markets when the moment will come, because we will need instructors and offshore, of course, the moment the borders are opening, it will boom. And we will be having a very short time to really react. So the more prepared we are and the more we communicate, I think the better it will be. So something like that. And I will invite Thailand, obviously, Maldives, and Malaysia, Singapore to join in that. Yeah, that's what I would think. George?
Yes, Jean-Claude. First of all, thank you very much for explaining about the strategy and giving, you know, what happened, because I didn't know that. And I think it explains a lot. And it also explains, you know, where we're going different to PADI. And I actually really agree with what you said in one of your emails that, you know, first of all, do these marketing efforts have any results? And Shirley gave some, I think, really good information about that. And the fact that the marketing materials are written in English shows it's for an overseas market, very clearly. And in my experience, both working for Paddy and looking at what's happening in the Philippines, first of all, I know that Western shops that try to get into that market, the success ratio is very, very low. And secondly, here in the Philippines, from my observation, the mainland Chinese normally go to a Chinese-run dive center or resort. 95% of the cases. Would you agree with that, Chris, from what you have seen? I'm talking about Bohol, Anilao, Puerto Galera, Boracay.
Yeah, I totally agree because of the language.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really very hard.
Sorry, George.
Yeah.
I think this situation is not only happen in Philippines. And what I knew, even though in New Zealand and Australia, the people, the Chinese people, they will go, the dive shop is run by the Chinese. Even though I have experience to help my Australian and New Zealand friend, they approach the dive shop owner even not able to communication by English. So they make a long distance call to me and I help them to explain about the SSI system. This is the reality.
Yeah. So I actually think it's two things here. I do think the marketing campaign is more to impress the non-Chinese dive centers. And as you mentioned, Jean-Claude, and I think a couple of you, it looks very slick, it looks very well packaged. And I think it's really to show the marketing might and power of Paddy for non-Chinese dive centers. It's kind of saying, look at us, we're so good. And even though most dive centers will never make money from the Chinese market, they're holding out the carrot. They're like giving them the false hope, like if you follow what we're saying, you're going to get, the thousands of Chinese customers, which, what I have seen in some areas is a local resort owner will partner with a Chinese industrial partner. So normally a tour operator will then bring in the plane loads of customers, but the whole program, the whole marketing is run by the Chinese person. So the Filipino person, they provide the resort, the boat logistics, the ground facilities, but everything else is Chinese. Even the menu will be changed for the duration of the visit. So that's, I do think that, it's pretty, shall we say, useless. But on the other hand, it's one of those things where when we talk to dive centers, they go, well, Paddy does this, Paddy does that. And that's where we're kind of backfooted. That's why I actually very interested. So Shirley, could you let us know how to send you, the TikTok videos to repost, as you were mentioning? And that's something we're having a Philippine Service Center meeting tomorrow. I'd like to pass that on to.
It's quite easy. You just need to at SSI China Service Center. And I will send you a Chinese character to you because it's in Chinese. So you need to set it in full. And I want to share some information about what you were talking earlier, because I visit Philippines before the coronavirus every year. And my first choice is Anilao. And I know there are lots of famous resorts in Anilao. Maybe Chris knows them more than us. And I know the most famous for Chinese is El Pinoy, La Chevalerie. El Pinoy is run by, I think it's Filipino. And the La Chevalerie. Sorry?
El Pinoy have new owner, they changed the name.
Oh, and the other one is La Chevalerie is very expensive, but lots of Chinese people love it. And the PL, I like them very much. They are run by Filipino, and it's very Filipino style. But I for my personal, I choose the resorts running by like Filipino or Western people more than Chinese one, because I know so many details. But why they can also have a lot of customers, because the first time they visit China, I was in that meeting. They will come with the Philippine Tourism Bureau, and they have a B2B meeting, which we can do maybe for the next time when the border is open for next show. We can have a B2B meeting for our resorts out of China as well. And the center and the dive center was invited to this meeting. And you have some, like, I think it's 2 hours, and you can have a face-to-face talking about the quotation and what do you have in your resort? Do you have night truck, something like that, the easy questions. And then they have a presentation. Every resort has maybe 5 or 10 minutes time. And then you have some resorts is really smart, like El Pinoy. They provide like some raffles, 3 days, 2 nights free of charge. And that was the first time. It's before they officially open, and they attract a lot of people come to El Pinoy every year. I think the 90% of the customers is Chinese. So it's much more important. Maybe they need to promote in China, maybe in Chinese way, like we are using on TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese company, so we call it Douyin, and it's Chinese people and the rest of the world are using the same platform. And I know another one is Scuba Pro. Scuba Pro is in Manila as well, and they have a Chinese instructor.
How does one make money on TikTok? Because we're not that familiar with it to make money. All we know it's a dance app.
TikTok now they have the online shop, like dogs.
But you have to have your own account. Then you need to have an account as a consumer.
You just register, you can have a consumer, but you just need to make money. I think for the company, we are not doing that. It's for like if you have a live stream and you do some funny thing and people click the coin, you get the money. And the other way is like you have an online shop like dogs. Dogs now has the TikTok online shop. Every day they have like 2,000 something RMB income from TikTok. It's really funny. I was very shocked because I don't know, people really buy something on TikTok. So it's much more for the company and for the official way. For me, it's a tool, and we don't think about to make money from TikTok, but it's a good tool for promotion.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, because we're not so familiar with it, how to monetize that at this stage. But I hear what you're saying about, lifestyle videos. And I think that's something the resorts here can provide very easily, like beautiful shots and so on. Yeah.
And we are preparing something as well, but maybe it's not very smart to post on our social medias as WeChat. We are doing something like 1 day for I think headquarters doing the same thing. It's the 1 day for a professional. We are doing the 1 day for a shop, and you are act like you are a consumer. You visit a center and you show this is our equipment area, this is our swimming pool, and this is the classroom. We are doing the academic part, and what do we have, what kind of course we have. And then SSI China official WeChat account can post every day. And maybe we can share some information on TikTok with the smart way, like when the send resorts outside of China at SSI China, we can repost it. It's a polite way. And I don't think my customer will complain about that. And it's not very direct. They were okay with it, and they are happy to say the beautiful scenery in the ocean. So maybe this is a way we can use.
I think it's a good idea, and we should really think along that way. So for the ones who are watching this replay, I'm going to share that with Corina, and she has to take the vaccine today, I think, so she cannot join. And I will share that with Thailand and Maldives so they can have a look. And Malaysia, obviously. So when you see that, when you see the replay, prepare to join, prepare also your questions so that we can also move on into the same direction all together, because the moment the market opens, we will have all kind of opportunities, but also I think we have to provide the dream to the people that are in China, because their only tropical location is Sanya. But we know that people will travel anyway. But if they start their training and if they continue their training in China, and we all win. Now, you said something, George, and that's the fact in the Philippines, but it's a fact also in Malaysia, where you have really Chinese centers that are, run by Chinese owners. And obviously, it's not different than in the past, where you would have the Germans going to a German center in Spain or in the Maldives. It's exactly the same. You feel much more at ease if you can speak your language and if people understand your culture and so on. Is it good? Is it bad? It's like that. I think the only difference is really in the Maldives. So far, you don't really have Chinese centers. You have Chinese instructors who are working in a center, and then this may change as well. And I'm sure that things may change and may be different once everything starts in a different way and be like somehow normal. We don't know, but there is going to be a change. So yeah, I would say that's a good initiative here. You mentioned the fact you have an SSI service center meeting. You know what we did also, we used the edX as a platform. At that time, we made a presentation to the centers, and it was a live presentation. We may have to think to provide some kind of webinar, in Asia Pacific. We can do that in general for all the countries, or we can say, okay, let's do that targeted Philippines or whatever, and explain what we are doing and basically tell them a little bit the vision, and so that they are aware that we consider the Chinese market as a different market, and that we are not forgetting anybody, but we want also to tell them the truth about the reality that, if you do not have Chinese stuff, if you do not have a Chinese menu, if you don't have a Chinese text or whatever, you will not have people coming into your center. So the adaptation that they will need to have is pretty significant. Years back, I did a tour in the Maldives together with my friend from Paddy Rogers' son. And I asked him to come with me and to visit centers in the Maldives. And we made a few presentations because people did not understand how this was working. And it was super beneficial at that time. I would say we talk about something like 10 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. And one example is kept in my mind. We arrive in a center, and this center says, we have Chinese on the island, and we have here our Chinese Discover Scuba Diving panel, but we never get any customer. And Roger said, of course, the way it is written, nobody will come. They used some kind of, I don't know, Google translation at that time was certainly bad, but nobody would come. He changed the writing. The same day they had their first Chinese customers. And since then, of course, they started to work. So that was one of the examples. The second example, which was really significant, we came out of the boat, we went diving, we came out of the boat, and there is this Chinese family, a couple and their son. And they ask, Roger engaged the conversations, how was it? And they say, nice chit chat, and they say, well, we did discover scuba diving, but we are disappointed about the center. And he said, oh, why? You know, what happened? They said, well, we did this discover scuba diving. We don't have a lot of time and we wanted to do more, but they never asked. They never asked to do more discover scuba diving. You don't have the time to do a course, but you have the time to do more, you know, programs, similar programs. So they missed 3 days or 2 days of using the money of this family, because they say, we have this money, we want to spend the money. So that's something that is different in the mind of the people. You know, in some countries, you go to holiday, and the more you can save, the better holiday it is. and if you take if I'm not mistaken, if you take the Chinese mentality, the Russian mentality is pretty similar. You go on holiday, you spend the money you have for the holiday, then that's a good holiday. So, and centers needed to understand that. And well, that was also a good lesson to explain things like that. So if we can run some webinars with our centers, you know, right now they are in a lockdown, mostly they don't really work, but we can prepare them and explain what is different and what we do and what they should do if they want to have Chinese customers. Then we do not harm anybody, I would say. We do not harm our Chinese local market, because that would be outside, but we can even start to have connecting the people between each country. So maybe we should consider that by, I don't know, starting sometimes in maybe end of September and maybe once a month as well, doing some kinds of webinars as long as it's needed. And when we can do a live presentation, we'll do a live presentation. I don't know what you think about that.
I think it would be really good, Jean-Claude, to help us prepare for the eventual restart, to exchange, you know, thoughts, experiences about these insights. I think I have learned, especially from what Shirley's been saying, and also you know, that there are sometimes cultural differences that are very small, but they are different. And your story, for example, it just reminded me of something I saw in Bohol. I was in Bohol a few years ago, staying at a nice resort, not the most expensive, but not the cheapest either. And there was a Chinese family next to me. And what they did, and this relates to your story, they went through the menu and they ordered one of everything for like a family of 6, right?
It's normal.
And some of the, huh?
It's normal.
Is it normal? No, and then some of the stuff they ate, obviously, but most of the stuff they just tried once and then they left.
Yes.
So, you know, and that whole bill would have added to like 4 or 5 nights stay at that resort, just that one dinner bill. So exactly what you said, spend money versus save money, which is, yeah, like I know the Cebuanos here in the Philippines, they're very known that they save money. You know, they go out, they go to a resort, they bring all the food with them. They don't buy at the resort. So yes, there are these differences that we need to understand if we want to work with that market. Like you said, offer them what they want and make money while you're doing it.
All right, then I will write an email to all of you where I will share the link of this call today, and then we will I will propose a few dates, and then let's take it from there.
Okay.
And we will work together so that you know, I don't think we should have a very formal presentation, but definitely Shirley should ask the team to maybe prepare some slides that we can show, you know, that we share maybe what we do on social media, how, you know, the usual things, how many centers, the locations, and then we can expand a little bit on talking why they dive in aquarium, how is it bad, is it good? So, you know, that really we take some position of explaining the how we see the development of the market and how we see the future. So I don't want to make a webinar with 200 slides and just one-way communication, but we would open that panel also for people asking questions, so really having a Zoom call where people can join and say, okay, if you have any questions, if you want to have something specific that we can prepare, just, that we have a very open interaction with centers that are interested to join. So let's see. And if we have 2 centers that join, that's fine. Just having a start and then we can say we did something,
Okay.
Okay.
JC,
Cool.
JC and Shelley,
Yes.
JC and Shelley, I have a question regarding the Chinese training material. Now, may I know, no matter it's traditional or simplified, who is the person I can check for update? Because a few months ago, I did check with Shelley regarding the freediving material. So far, we have, I would say, quite limited Chinese freediving material as available in the system.
Yeah, I can answer this question because the freediving ITC menu is not open for translation since last, I think, 2 weeks ago, and we already we asked Sura to translate it because this time is much more professional for freediving area, and she will finish. I think it's very soon because we are half of the lockdown now, and she is quite available. And because it's just open, the headquarters is just open recently for translation. So we need some time, and it's only for level 1 or level 2, I think. It's not full. And I think according to the message from Memo, because they are revised some standard and detailed thing. So it's not open for translation. I asked many times from the headquarters. I think I bothered them too much, and and since two weeks ago, it's okay.
I am the second one.
So you will
because
have
I'm also keep asking not only for free diving, because let's say some of the specialty or instructor manual on scuba at the moment is still not available in Chinese.
Which one?
I knew we keep updating the standard, but I would say the Hong Kong Dive Center, they already wait for 9 months, 1 year. They cannot get the Chinese material. So the only thing I can show them or I can teach them is you need to start to learn in English.
Yeah, maybe you can send me the list toward the most popular one in Hong Kong you need, and I can arrange it. But I think from my understanding, the most of the specialties popular in China, we already translated, but except the XR part, because we are not open extended range in China until now.
Ah, okay.
For the recreational one, I think we finished the majority.
But it's not in the system, right?
It's in the system.
It is the system. Okay.
If you need anything, you just send me email.
All right. Thank you very much. Good.
What do you mean, Shirley, by saying XR is not yet available in China? Like you're not allowed to do technical diving?
We don't have
you don't have.
Yeah.
Because that would be quite an opportunity for like Bohol, Portobello, Anilao.
Yeah.
The dive sites are very good for that, and I know there are tech Chinese instructors there.
Tech diving is very popular in China, and we have a world famous city in China is famous for cave diving, but we didn't start it because we are just scheduled with we cooperate with I think it's from Singapore because we can speak the same language. It's nothing for translation, so we cooperate with him. But the coronavirus came, and he cannot travel to China because it's the same thing like Jesse said. The embassy is not open, and now he need to spend here at least 21 days for quarantine. It's spent lots of time. He doesn't want to come, so we have the mermaid is like this, and every year some tech diver die here, and I will be really how to say I'm not very aggressive about extended range rather than I have the right person to do it. Because in this area, only you are very famous and expert in this area, people will follow you. And in China, there is an organization that I think maybe Harvard heard about them, WUD. They are the founder is Chinese. Every year they die at least one diver. It's really risky, and we have Horizon, which we promote a lot in China. It's only for SSI and Morris. So we have the very useful weapon for the extended range. I'm not worried, but we need to wait. I choose to wait rather than choose someone who can use it. And so we can only wait until the border is open and we can cooperate with this Singapore trainer.
Makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
Okay.
More questions?
Okay.
But I think, you know, what we learned also, and it's good that you brought this question, Howard, about translation. You know, when even 2 years ago, we had the same questions coming because people didn't know, you know, sometimes you don't check the system and so on, but there is a lot happening in China. We have done a lot and the team is working hard. So if anything, you doubt anything, or you know, you hear a rumor that you don't have this and that, just check with Shirley. And if we need to have a specific translation for a market even outside of China, and we see that there is a potential in the market, we still may take a decision to translate. So no problem. Or marketing material, the same. This is something that is super important to have in the right way, the correct words and so on. So we can support then all the centers with that. So that's keep that in mind.
Yeah, I did check in the system, and after that I checked with Memo, I checked with Peter, and Peter just shared to me the not official platform to see what is the material available in Chinese, but it's not final version. For example, the freediving level 2 instructor manual, we don't have Chinese. The basic freediving, we don't have Chinese. I don't really care about the traditional or simplified. And I cannot share the file Peter shared to me because this is not the official version. So that's why I did send an email, ask Shirley for help.
Okay, you can send me anytime you need.
Yeah. But okay. Shirley, you only respond for simplified Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Or both?
The traditional is under Taiwan, I think.
Correct.
Means Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Good.
Okay, so I would say thank you very much for taking the time to join today. I would propose that the next meeting in that if we can do it the same day that we do the service center meeting once a month. So basically we would do it in our morning in Europe, and then the beginning of the afternoon we have the other one. That's usually normally it's a Monday. Today is a bit exception, but would that be okay that we do that on the same day?
Yeah.
Okay, good, perfect. So that makes sense. Maybe something that I can announce to you right now. Just keep it still confidential because it's not announced yet. But we have a change in the service center for Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei. We will have a change for the distributor, basically for the service center. So we have ended the contract with Jackie and Barthe-Maison. So they have some other, I would say, directions where they go. And we will continue the work with a new partner. And this new partner will be under Ricky Go, who actually separated from Jackie already beginning of this year. And so that it is clear, they separated simply because Ricky was not allowing or accepting the new direction they were going. You know, they do something with e-scooters and things like that. And Ricky is in the diving business. So that was not matching his vision either. So they separated in good terms. So basically tomorrow the switch will happen. It's very short term. We finalized everything over the weekend. So
Good move.
So basically we want to force that market because I would say in Asia, that's probably the only market where nothing happened during this pandemic. And it's a pity because in Indonesia, in Philippines, everywhere we have done acquisitions, we have used anything possible to support the centers, but also to acquire new centers. And in this region, Singapore, Malaysia, nothing happened. And that's obviously a missed opportunity. And we want to try to right now to reverse that as fast as possible.
Mhm.
So next meeting, Ricky will be part of that.
Okay.
Fizzy, I just want to reconfirm. Is it Ricky Cole?
Yes, yes.
Good.
You all know him. I mean, the people
He's
here
friend of mine.
know him. I think. Yes.
When he the previous story, he did give me a call to see how we can work together. I said, let's see.
Yeah, he definitely announced quite a while ago that he would like to pursue his journey with SSI. I have personally been in touch with him several times for several months already, even if it was not announced that he was not with ADA anymore. And he submitted a very strong business plan.
Yep.
And so we had no doubts of moving forward. You know, it's difficult to find a partner that you know that will bring you further, and we needed to really push this market. So that's what will happen. So right now we are going into training, and then we will move ahead. So just to let you know, just keep it for you until it's announced.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
See you tonight.
And see you a bit later. All right, I will stop the recording.
Everyone,
Just,
bye.
All right.
just
Bye.